Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's October 23rd. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and really crazy volatility again today. Really crazy day. It was hard downhill and then hard uphill. And early on, I looked at this. At first, it looked like a spiking channel, and then when we turned down here, right where the trend line would be, it looks like a two-tiered channel almost, and that's kind of how I was playing it. It worked out that way, but you can see we finally reversed and just went the other way. So maybe in the end, it wasn't a two-tiered channel. Either way, once we bounced here and started going higher, you should have been thinking all uphill. Notice how it was mostly downhill before that. The reason I still like downhill here, even though we're working higher, is that's the first close outside, so we're still looking for prices to probably go and test the low. But when we bounced here and confirmed this trend line for sure outside of it, and this thing rallied off, you just pretty much got to buy. Notice I only marked trades through noon today. There's plenty of them here, so many of them, and the chart lessons are getting so long. Um, I just only did them through noon, and I just don't have time to go through all of them today. Um, I'm trying to get out of here, so I'm going to back out and go through the trades, and we'll wrap up today. But there's plenty of trades before noon, and afternoon it was really uphill. And you had to be a little patient this morning. There were some chances to get short in here, but I just don't see anything I really like before 7 o'clock, or between 7 and before really around just after they open. I don't see anything in there like you don't. I don't think you want to be trying to get long in here. And we weren't back to the key entry point. Um, there's just not a really good setup in here, so you don't want to be going short down here. And there's some possibilities right in here, but you can see we're still working higher. And then we get a close outside here, but it ends up still working higher. And as strong as that was down, I just don't see any reason to be buying here. And so you're looking for shorts, and once we started going, we're still working upwards here. So there's a possibility of a long right here because we are working higher and we are swinging back and forth, so above and below the EMA, but we're headed towards this, you got to assume we're headed to this trend line. And so there's a possibility of a couple of longs in here, but I only mark the shorts. I just think it's really risky. You might have liked this long here and this one here, so I'll go ahead and mark those. This is a higher low, but we don't really have this trend line confirmed. Maybe it confirmed it right here. Let me back out a little more. So that's a possibility. And then the other one I liked was this one right here. That really confirms the trend line. And even this one right here is going higher. So again, I'm gonna leave them all green. But like I said, you could argue for them either way. But I just don't. I'm a little leery going short anywhere in here because we just can't. Notice how we just came off the low side. We're not quite back to the high. There's a good chance you could get trapped. Just like right here, you might have looked at that as a failed second entry long when it went lower there, but you would have got trapped only to get stopped out and then watch it go down. Um, you really need to get back to this key entry point here, and that's what I was looking for to happen there. And if you'd have tried to go long, you might have got burned. Notice we do have this short-term trend line, so you get a break here, and then there's a first entry and a second entry. So that is a second entry long, and you might have looked for it to go higher. And we have started kind of swinging back and forth above and below the EMA here. So that's another possibility there. But again, I just think it's risky going long, especially if this is a spiking channel. We're probably going to try to hit this trend line and go lower, and with it swinging back and forth, you do have some sideways action here. But again, I think you're better off just to wait. So you got that option. But if you were just patient, we finally came back here, and notice you got a close outside of this short-term trend line, move to a new high, nice bearish bar right off the key entry point. Quick, easy scalp, and then it bounces again. There's no real good setup up there. And of course it bounces here, but you definitely don't want to be going long here. But when it makes this higher low, after pushing through here, you have to assume hey, maybe this is a midline and maybe we're going higher. So that's a possibility. And again, we're we're working off the highs back to the lows, and of course we bounce here again and get a nice bullish bar. And so at this point, maybe we're headed to here, and you get a higher low here that actually breaks lower and turns up. So that's another possibility. Again, I marked all of them green because everything has been downhill. Although this is a nice short-term trend, and one thing you should have done is measured this first leg down and assume that maybe you can see that first leg down. Maybe this is the midpoint correction of a bigger pattern, and we may get another leg down, which would start right there. And you can see we didn't get anywhere near that, but that would have given you some encouragement that once we started going higher, that we may rally out of there. Because if you don't make a target by that much and prices reverse, then we're probably going strongly in the other direction. Just make sure you confirm that we're really going in the other direction before you start trying to reverse and start buying. That's one thing you got to be really, really careful of. But notice we finally got back here. You get a first entry, turn down, and you bounce, and you get a failed second entry long that, and both of those turn down right off that key entry point. It actually broke higher, gives you a big bearish bar that closes below the EMA. Even though you don't have a break here, this is the big main pattern, and that's what you were waiting on. I like going short there, especially on a failed second entry long. And this thing just takes off, and you actually notice you made a new swing high here, and you're moving down. You get a first entry, pull back, and then a second entry, and it fails. And you should have drawn this line off these lows here, and then you could just drag that up, and it turned down right off of it with a failed second entry long. I like going short, and the bottom just falls out of this thing again. That's the trade you're waiting on. Actually, if you'd have caught either one of these, you probably would have got a runner, but this is where it takes off here. Most of your smart traders are going to get in now and look at it go. I mean, that's just straight down from about 27.15 to, I mean, that's a 15-point move straight down just in no time. I mean, really from right around 9 o'clock to 9:07, so in 7 minutes you've moved 15 points. That's the kind of trade you want to try to catch. Notice you got two legs up. First break of this short-term trend, so a second entry short. It's not a perfect bar. It's more bearish than it is anything, and it is a second entry, and that's been a big move down, so I'm probably going to take that. When you actually bounce, try to go higher there and turn back down. But by that time, you're really stacked up, but then you get your failed second entry long, and you've actually moved on out of this little breakout pullback short as well. I like that one. And again, you get another multi-point move down here. You don't want to be selling way down here that far away from the EMA. Notice you do come back and bounce here, and then you just there's a little bit of congestion there. There's actually two legs up. You don't break lower here, but that's not a very good signal bar. And then you bounce here. That's a great signal bar, but now you got a short-term trend working up and no close outside of it yet until here. And you get a first entry, and then you get a second entry. It fails. It actually breaks higher and turns down. I like going short. I really thought we'd take on off there. It doesn't. It's easy scalp. It's good for a couple points before it bounces. But now I draw that trend line just in case. Then we start heading higher. And there is a failed second entry short here, but you don't want to take that right into that trend line. And look how it gaps over that trend line. It actually backed up and filled the gap, but it gapped over that trend line there. That's usually a good sign you got it in the right place. But now that's the first break of this big two-tiered channel here, lower, midpoint, upper trend line. And so I'd really be looking for short still. And notice you're moving down. There's actually a little tick higher there, but I'd really look at that all as one move, and then you try to go higher, and then you try to go higher, and that's the first close outside that little trend line. and it actually breaks higher and turns down. Just go short when it breaks below. These are pretty big bars, so, but you're just not going to probably, with this kind of volatility, you're going to get a lot of really big bars. So there's just no working around it. Um, so I like going short there. Lower high here, it pushes through the EMA, pulls back, turns down, another big bear, and it actually broke higher and went out the other side again. You could have gone short one tick below it, but probably when it went below that bar, I'd have my sell stop there. And somebody asked me this today. They said, what do you do? The bars are so quick, but when you're trading from the chart, it's just a click or two, so it only takes the 2 seconds if you do this a lot. And you've got your strategies already in there, automatic strategies, so it only takes 2 clicks. And as you can see, let me show you this. I use the countdown bar here, so I know how many ticks are left in that bar as it's ticking, and when it starts to get close, I might go ahead and drop my order. If I wanted to sell here, I'd go ahead and drop my order way down here and have it ready, and then I just drag it up, and as soon as that bar closes, I let go of it and drop my order in. And so you can put your order in a second almost. So there's ways around it. That's the reason I like trading from the chart, to be honest with you. So you can just do it so much quicker, but we don't go lower here, we bounce. And so at this point, hey, we're going to get a second leg up. There's your first leg. There's your second leg. We don't quite get there, we get close, but your trend channel line appears to be up here. So you don't really get a good chance. You don't want to go long right here into that. I mean, there is a failed second entry short. It's another possibility because we have been working higher since a little after 9 o'clock. So you may take that trade. There's a failed second entry short right there. You don't have a lot of room back up here. We just came off the high and we're not off the low again yet, although there's probably a midline in here as well. You can see there's a perfect midline right in the middle there. So, that may give you enough courage to want to take that one. I'll leave it green. But there's still other trades in here, just like I've talked about lately with all this volatility. There is still lots of trades in here that I won't mark because there's so many good trades. But anyway, this is really congestive, and just even though we're working higher, same thing here. Finally make a lower high here. I'm not crazy about that one. You're still kind of going sideways. There's still a lot of support right here, but it pushes through, pulls back, gives you a failed second entry long, confirms that trend line. Go short right there. Moving on down, you finally get there's another lower high here, fairly bearish bar, but it's right at the midline. We do push through, pull back, and it gives you really a double top there with a little break higher and a big bearish bar. You're probably going to at least test that low, but we're probably headed down here. I like that one. Off it goes. And then it actually bounces down here. When it bounces, now you've got to close outside this trend line and 2 legs down and a bounce right off what looks like a key entry point. Fairly bullish bar, a good bit away from the EMA. I like that trade. You probably could argue for that one to be green, but this channel seems to be in play, and we've been trending up since just after 9, and it's now 11, so for 2 hours. So maybe we're in an uptrend now, and if you take that trade, you can see that people's mind or thoughts on the trade, their mindset had changed right here, and look at it go, and it rockets off. And people realize, hey, we must be going in the other direction now. And notice you get a first entry, second entry that bounces right off the trend line, right off the EMA. I like taking that one with that overshoot. Maybe this is a midline, and you still got room to get out before it gets back to that high, regardless, even if it's going to turn down there. But it just keeps working up. But I'm not crazy about going long up here on these first entries and stuff. So there is a little bit of higher low here, but it's right into a double top, and you see it doesn't go very far. And you actually make a lower high here, but that's the first break right there, and we don't, I'd be a little leery about going short right there. You could look at that as a failed second entry long, and it's a big bearish bar. It would have worked as well. So, I mean, that's another one that you could possibly argue for, but it is going sideways, and that's another reason I don't really like that one, because you're going low at the low of what looks like a little bit of a trading range there, but you could still argue for that one. But really, the trend has changed at this point, and we still don't have a new high in place. So when it drops down and starts going sideways and drops out and turns and goes back up, I like going long there. And you can see it rockets up again. And where does it go? It's a perfect measured move to the other side based on the original channel. If you just take that equal distance, it turns down to the tick. It actually pushes up one more time and then starts kind of working down, but bounces off the midline again and it goes higher. We end up even getting outside of that. So this thing got really bullish here at the end, and notice that we just kind of went sideways from there into the close. So we closed very close to the high. So it was an interesting day, and like I said, it's just so many trades that I only marked them through lunch, and I mean we're over 16 minutes now, and I prefer to keep the videos around 10 to 12 minutes, but lately we've been 20 minutes on average for all of them. But there's just lots and lots of trades, and like I said, there's others in there you could argue for. Probably still some others that I didn't mark, but you want to stick to the when you've got this many trades and the volatility is this high, stick to the best trades, because if you're not happy with the one you see now, there's going to be one in a few minutes. You don't have to wait very long. You had to be a little patient this morning, but even if you went back and counted these, you still had to be a little bit patient, but it would have added a few more trades. But once they started, I mean, they're just coming in rapid succession all the way through lunchtime. And it continued on through the rest of the day. But anyway, I hope you had a good trading day. I'm not going to hang around and drag this out. Like I said, I want to keep them, under 20 minutes for sure. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.